Hello.
Hello. What about chickens? Well, we're big rock singers, we got golden fingers, and we're loved everywhere we go. We sing about beauty and we sing about truth for $10,000 a show. We take all kind of pills, get all kind of thrills, but the thrill that we'll never know is the thrill that'll get you when you get your picture on the cover of the Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone, when I see my picture on the cover, gonna buy 5 copies for my mother. Gonna see my smiling face on the cover of the Rolling Stone. That. Yeah, what she said. Oh no!
What happened?
What happened? I hit my guitar on something. Hey everybody.
That's me.
Oh, Brewster and Donnie are no longer talking on the phone. This is now time to annoy me. Hold on, now we got to raise the seat. Well, I guess we could do this.
Yeah.
I guess that's fine.
Or watching.
What?
35 people are watching.
That's right. 35 people are watching. Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show. Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show. Hey, everybody. It's Sunday, and you know what that means. What does that mean? It's time for Dead Dodge Garage Live. The super boring Sunday special. It's time for a nap edition.
What?
Mm-hmm. I'm taking the night off. I drank today's cider yesterday. I got ketchup chips if I get hungry. Don't eat that. That's not a delicious potato chip.
But it looks like a chip.
Don't eat it.
So it is a chip, so I eat it. Yep,
Don't eat
yep,
it.
yep, yep.
I'm telling you right now. 43 of you out there, thanks for joining us. And feel free to hit like on the stream. And ask any questions you might have. Share feedback. Tell the people why you hate 67 Impalas, that sort of thing. All right. Hi.
No, wait.
Donnie was on the phone with Rooster. Yeah. Duck.
Super Duck has to fly.
How dare you throw my duck? Old Stuff Rules is here. Hello, DDG people. How's it going, Old Stuff Rules? Yes, the duck that you gave me. It's my duck. How's it going, Tony? What is new? Donnie said chicken, but I don't know what that means.
Oh, I remember this.
Hey, Rich Jordan, how's it going? Yeah, you made me that. And Brian is here, the other Death Devil Garage. What is up? Yay! Hooray!
This carrot looks yummy. Should I eat it?
Yeah, go ahead.
It has Orbeez inside it.
Definitely
so
eat that.
Eat it.
Super good for you. Yep. How's it going, Bell James? Howdy, Dan. What is up? It's time to annoy Jamie. All right. Speaking of which, thank you. Someone had to do that. Evening, Stacy. How's it going? I haven't gotten that shipment yet, but that's okay because there's so much going on this weekend. I decided to not do the 20,000 subscriber special. I'm going to do it sometime soon when I feel like it. Are you just going to be my shadow this whole time? You're like the most bored person ever right now, huh?
Yeah, nobody to play with.
Nobody wants to play with Wumpus. What? It's a line from it's a thing. Anyway.
What thing?
I don't remember. Discord? I don't know. Some app somewhere. Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show, I think.
What the duck?
Howdy, Joel. How's it going? Yeehaw! No Clue Garage is here. Jamie, how the hell are you? I'm okay. Kind of tired. My voice is ruined from the show last night. What?
What the duck?
Wow. Howdy, Lovejoy. How's it going? Yeah, it's just kind of like slow around here today, which is
Mr.
fine.
Ducker the superhero.
It's going to be really hard to like answer questions and talk to people if you're just
Hanging out with Mr. Ducker?
right. I mean, you could hang out with Mr. Ducker, but like,
Who the heck is this? Oh, yeah, I gave it to you. I'm pretty sure.
you did. Yeah, it's fine. Mm-hmm. Brent Forte is here. Hello, people of the internet web thing. Old Stuff Roll says, hey, Jamie, how'd the gig go? It went all right. There weren't very many people there. We were playing it. Oh, you want to say hi?
Hello.
Hi to Rooster.
Hi, Rasta.
Hi, Rooster. When are you going to get bored of this and go away? Okay.
Never.
Wow.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Where we played is Ashley's Pub House, and they built a beer garden, and then they turned it into an outside venue and lounge area, which is kind of cool. So it's under 3 tents, and when it rains like in front of the stage. It's amazing. But it's a really cool place to play. Unfortunately, attendance was not amazing yesterday, but it was all right. Still tired, still ruined my fingers and my voice.
I fell on a scooter today when I tried to turn it, and then I hurt my 2 hands and my knee, and then I did it a second time, and then I forgot what else I hurt.
When was that?
Today, when I was playing with AJ.
Huh. Wow. Donnie says, happy 20,000. Thank you. Yes. 20,000 happened like Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday.
I'm going to go get
I don't
my
remember.
Mopar.
Okay, bye.
I'll be right back.
You could go like play or something.
Oh, hell no.
We did that. Anyway, yeah, 20,000. It happened. And the 20,000 sub special is coming. We talked about it last week. I'm going to rebuild a thermoquad for the 79 Chrysler 300. And I need to eliminate the electronics because I did the delete on the lean burn. So I need the carb electronics to go away too. So I'm going to rebuild a different thermoquad, but I also have other thermoquad cores. So I hopefully have enough stuff to build one good one out of. So that's going to be the video. We're going to set up. I'll go live, and then I think it'll be start to finish. Carburetor off of the car, on the bench, assemble one out of a bunch of different thermoquads, back on the car, fired up, tune it, good to go. So, yeah, I think it'll be fun. It'll be a little different anyway. I don't know what day I'm going to do that yet. What with the holiday coming up and all, it might get complicated. But anyway, it's Mopar talk. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
What the heck?
No Clue Garage says you're adorable. You're out of water. You got to get more water.
Wait, now I have to drink this sink water again.
Just put more water in there. Yeah, that's how it went. It went okay. Not the best attended show I've ever played. Not the worst, but not the best. Anyway, it was all right. Hi, Amy. How's it going? Guitar picks. Delicious snack. Orin Cahoon wants to know, 72-400, cast crank? There are forged crank 400s. I've seen them.
I think I added a little too much water.
Yeah. I've seen forged crank 400s, and I think those are 72 only, but I don't know if all of them are forged in 72 because the 383, I believe, went cast crank in its last year, which is 71.
Where's the color stuff that makes my water?
It's in the cabinet. Figure it out.
I can't reach it.
Then figure it out. My God. Anyway, at least I've heard that the 383 went cast crank. So I don't know. I think I've seen forged crank ones. I just don't know if they came in everything. I have no idea. No idea. Rooster says, hi to all the guys and gals. Hey, Rooster. Good evening, McLovin Garage. I've been talking to McLovin Garage quite a bit this week. First about Valiants that go around corners, and then about weird clicking noises in classic Mopars. And first, I was kind of confused, and then I realized, wait, I just saw this. It's a wiper motor problem. If you hear a click and your amp, only when the key is on, you hear a click like behind the dash, and your amp gauge goes down, and then back up, and then down, and then back up. It's the internal breaker in the wiper motor tripping and then resetting. Usually because of a bad adjustment, park adjustment. Anyway, Bill Johnson is here and says, hey, Jamie. Hey, Bill, how's it going? Jimmy Baps is with us and says, good evening from New York. Really enjoyed the recent Ram Charger video. Thank you. Yes, I enjoyed that quite a bit. Yes, you did.
I was shaking it, and this was open.
Well, that was a mistake.
And now there's water on the floor, too. Water everywhere.
Wow. Anyway, shocking. Anyway, yeah, that truck is awesome. It's super solid. It's 440 big block. It's got all of the things that you would want. Yeah, it's a really awesome truck, and it was a fun video. It kind of went off the rails for a little bit there toward the end, and it's funny because I almost cut that stuff out. We were, screwing around, moving things around, and then screwing around in the field, but Evan getting his truck going and everything, like the video just sort of took a turn for a little bit there, and then we started having way too much fun out in the field. It was pretty awesome. I thought it was a good video myself, and it seems to be doing pretty well. So thank you. Daniel Maynard says, your ducks are all mine. You'll have to pry them from my cold, dead fingers. That reminds me. 72 of you out there, thanks for joining us. And if you would, hit like on the stream, but only if you like it. Speaking of ducks, ours are doing this. They're just screaming at each other. I don't understand. Just weird little duck dance. Technically, those are, I don't remember what kind of ducks they are. They're not even really ducks. They don't quack. Anyway, you can have them. Dust Devil Garage, that's why I can never find a pick when I need one. They are delicious. Tony Sear says, my buddy Zach wants to see your Gundam, which is funny because I was just looking at that a bit ago. I was actually in here gaming for a bit, which I'm terrible at, but sometimes on a rainy Sunday, it's an okay thing to do. And I was looking up at that and thinking about how someone gave me nerd cred or whatever for having one here. How dare you? This is my seat. Anyway, there is my Gundam. GU11, Burning Gundam. I used to have a whole bunch of these. Hey, no. Not chill. Move it. Oh, my God. Rooster emoji. Nah, that was a chicken. That was definitely a chicken. Anyway, there you go, Tony. Yeah. Rooster says, what's up? Is the D100 drag truck is underway. Yes, he sold the small block and the transmission, and now he's going to build a monster. So, David Bisnet says, new sending unit. The purple wire connecting to the sending unit after the gauge. After that, the gauge should work. No, there's no ground. What? No, go wipe them on the towel and get out of my seat.
No.
Killing me.
That's how it feels when you don't let me have.
Who's what? No, Joel, that is not my Ram Charger. I'd still love to buy yours, but I don't know how I'd be able to do that. Who's debating, Donnie? I'm very confused. No, David. So purple wire, that would be temperature gauge, right? Purple wire is temperature gauge. Yeah. Basically, the way these gauges work is they ground through their sending units. The oil gauge, if you have one, the temperature gauge, the fuel gauge, they all work the same way. So they run on 5 volts coming out of the gauge voltage limiter. And so power in, ground on the other side. But they ground through a variable resistor, and that variable resistor is the sending unit. So no, there's no ground. The sending unit for the temperature gauge, assuming, again, that's what you're working on because it's a purple wire, that would be a, damn it, Donnie. Purple wire would be the temperature. But anyway, yeah, you just plug it in. It should work unless you have a voltage limiter problem or another wiring problem. And I do have a whole video up on that explaining how they work, if you want to check that out. It's classic Chrysler gauge diagnosis or something like that. I have a whole playlist of Mopar electrical guides on the channel, so you can just look in that and you'll find it. Rocket Tom is here. He just got back from McCacken, and he met with Mike back there, the previous owner of the Outer Pop Charger. Yeah, cool. Awesome.
Why is your volume always on the highest thing?
Because I'm always deaf. Anyway, yeah, Mike, super nice guy. Again, as you guys know, I've talked about this a bit. When I went over there, he and his wife were extremely hospitable, offered hospitality, whatever. Anyway, they were really nice. They picked me up from the airport and fed me. So anyway, we're really nice people. So yeah, Tom got to meet him over there at McCacken, where I was not. I was here playing a show for some reason. Rich Jordan says, setting up to do individual projects on the Challenger. First one's rebuilding the AC box, already removed. Once I find the DMT kit I bought 15 years ago, hopefully find it. Where is it? Gremlins took it. Oh, Lovejoy says, power is flickering at my house for some reason, so if I disappear from the live, that's why. All right. Cool. Fun. There's so much happening tonight. All right, good times. Donnie finally had to break away from that 305. It was purely anist. The block wishes it was a Mopar. Donnie said the Ducks were they were reenacting the classic Ford, Dodge, Chevy debate, just screaming at each other. Anyway, how was it? That show? It was all right. Okay, well, I'm assuming that was it. Unless it was something else. The Wumpus line is, in fact, Discord. Okay, I thought so. Yeah, when no one's online, or is it when you don't have any friends? I don't know, but at some place, Discord used to say, anyway, no one wants to play with Wumpus, and there's a sad character. My sister's voice was also ruined from the show, and she wasn't even performing. Not true. She sang one song. Stacy Renner says, according to the tracking, it should be there sometime tomorrow. Oh, my brother's home. Can't hear him from inside the house when he pulls up, but in here there's no insulation, so yeah, things are loud. The neighbors were lighting off fireworks a bit ago. That was weird. Anyway, Stacy said, would have been there for the weekend had it not headed to Cincinnati first. Well, that's okay. What's your fiction? Says, hey, Jamie, how goes? You guys should Magnum swap that Impala. Just kidding. Kids say the darndest things. Mine says bad words at every possible opportunity, but thankfully not on camera. Good stuff. Courting display. Oscar Walton. They're all female ducks. So I don't know. Maybe they're trying to get. We have a male, and his name is War Crimes the Duck. Yeah. So maybe they're all trying to get his attention. I don't know. One of them is his mother, though. The animal kingdom works in mysterious ways. Dead Dodge Mom checking in, and hi from Grammy to Ava. Well, she stole my phone and ran away. Donnie says, also, in other news, I am not a car painter. I thought a speed square was a performance part. Nice. Oh, Lovejoy says, congrats on 20K again. Thank you, Lovejoy. Thank you very much. And to all of you here that helped me get there. Very much appreciate that. Everything is coming up Millhouse. Just as a, inside note or whatever, last month was, I think, my most profitable month on YouTube ever, and this month is going to be more. So anyway, that's cool. We're getting all kinds of new subs on board. I think 360 from the Studebaker video alone. Now, of course, there are a bunch of people in the comments on the Studebaker video telling me I'm an idiot. Kind of expected. But yeah, good times. Some people seem to like the Impala video. It's not doing the best, but that's okay. Yes, she's adorable and she knows it. Richard says 20K and I'm working on 200. Well, keep at it. Oh, you're over 100. That's good. Lovejoy says, love the Ram Charger video. Listened to it while I worked. I'm still going to play the Dead Dodge Garage drinking game, but it's water, but it's a habit. So to all of you out there still playing the Dead Dodge Garage drinking game, I'm sorry. Oh, yes. Knees are there to get skinned. I'll let her know. Howdy, Rainbow Man. I saw a comment further down. I just found this channel 2 days ago. The Ram Charger was the one that popped my cherry. I had a few Rams and a Power Wagon. Nice. I have a couple Rams. No, I'm just down to 1 Ram and a few Power Wagons right now. So, yeah, good stuff. And what is that? I can't quite tell. I kind of thought it was an AMC product at first, but now I kind of think it's a Ford. Can't tell. Too small. Good evening, C-Story. The pronunciation of which I swear I mastered at one point, and now it's just gone. Bill Johnson says the metal picks don't taste as good. No, they don't. As long as you had fun, who cares, right? Well, I did have some fun. But I'm at a point in life where performing live music is kind of more like work than anything else. Like, I had to move so much stuff and then play for 3.5 hours and then move it back. Anyway, it's fine. I've been playing shows for... I've been playing music for 20 years and shows for, is that right? 18. Yeah. So anyway, 18 years of gigs. Kind of tired of it. But anyway, still fun from time to time. Lovejoy says, FYI, if anyone asks you to replace the hydraulic pump on a late 90s John Deere 4-wheel drive 4960, don't. Just wrap that up, had to pull the fuel tank, charge air cooler, and radiator to get to it. That sounds lovely. My sister says, I think the Studebaker video broke your top 5 today. I think it is still 6th, at least last I checked. Hold on. Here we go. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, shit, you're right. It's, wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right. Yep, it's 5 now. 68,852 views in a week, which is like, wow. All right. People like it, I guess. I think it's just because I put supercharged in the title and the picture's pretty good. But anyway, yeah, it's 5 now. I think it might end up in the number 2 spot. We'll see. Oh, Lovejoy also said the best part is I finished that one and the owner decided he wanted the steering motor replaced as well. So I got to take it all back apart again. Nope. Glenn Uromi says, hey, Jamie, good to see you. Good to see you too, Glenn. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for sharing your time. Oh, you bet. Happy to do it. The Ram Charger was badass. Totally agree. I've owned 3 of them over the years and regret selling every one of them, especially the 75. I've only ever had one. God, it's just what it's like. I've only ever had one. It was an 88 or 89 360. So metal roof, obviously. Lifted, 33s on it. I paid $600 for it. It drove home from Olympia, Washington. It didn't even need that much, but I bought it to take the engine out and put it in my Dart. And then I took the engine out And then I decided not to put it in my Dart, and I sold it, and I lost money. I did dumb stuff sometimes. That truck was awesome, but at that time in my life, trucks made no sense to me. I had several A bodies, and I was all about those. Scarlet the Four-Eyed Cuda, which would be in 1971, says, hello all. Hi, Scarlet. How's it going? Oh, yeah. The Glove and Garage says, that was an excellent diagnosis. I had to think about it for a minute, but yeah, we got there. Thankfully, you had some insight on that one. Yeah, I just learned that one this year. Busy End is back with us. Howdy, Busy End. How's it going? Stage Zero Garage is looking forward to the Thermoquad video. Yes, we've been talking about that for some time. I've been planning to do one for ages. And honestly, this may not be the only Thermoquad video I do. I'll probably still do a big one kind of going in depth on the big problems that they have. But yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I can't you guys are going to learn firsthand why there's so much editing in my videos. Can't talk. I'm going to have to try really hard not to swear a lot. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be different. I've never wrenched live before, so it might be a total disaster. But it should be fun. Anyway, Jason got 4 with the Little Red and have had so-so luck on the rebuild. Replaced with Holly Street Demon, but plan to try again when I use the Not Little Red to help restore my Little Red. Yeah, I like the Thermoquad when it works. Mike Thiel says, howdy, I'm currently installing an American Autowire hot wire kit in my 70 Duster. Please come help. No. All right, maybe. I got through that one I did. American Autowire. I'm sure that was an autocorrect boo-boo. American Autowire kit. I got through that one in the Challenger. It took me weeks, but I was trying to do a very, very nice, clean, orderly, sanitary job. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not looking forward to ever doing it again. I'm sure I'll have to, but I'm not looking forward to it at all. Bill Johnson says, oh, hey, Jamie, good news. My Coronet ran for about 15 minutes the other day. First time it's run in a couple decades, most likely. Awesome. Congratulations. Very cool. Rainbow Man says, duck eggs or fire. I don't know. I've scrambled them and stuff. We prefer the chicken eggs, and we've got chickens as well. So I think Mrs. Jamie mostly uses them for baking and things. We don't usually just eat the duck eggs. Functional History says, you still play with toys? I thought you were an adult. Haven't you made an entire name for yourself out of playing with toys? No, I don't play with them. I look at them. Well, I mean, other than my duck, of course. I play with that all the time. Well, and my light up dinosaur. I like my light up dinosaur, especially when it's dark. He helps keep me company when I get scared. Damn it. Does it still count? I don't know. No, Joel, the Mancho Ram Charger. I said this, and then, yeah. How do I send a picture your way? You can message me on Instagram, Facebook, or you can email me, jamienoise@gmail.com. And this is nothing about you, Joel, but I do want to say, I don't understand this. If anyone has any ideas for how I could communicate this better, in the Macho Ram Charger video, 45 seconds into the video, I punched in an edit and said, I just want to say now, this is not my truck. It's Gary Hergert's. I say in all of these videos, usually, it's sort of, okay, it's hit or miss, but I usually try to make it obvious that it's not my car, right? The Studebaker video I just did was the second Studebaker video, so I didn't say explicitly, this is my friend Dave's car that I'm fixing, and then I'm going to get it back to him. And no one's ever going to go back and watch the first one, so I made multiple references to it going away, but I never said, it's not my car. I do try to make it obvious, but for some reason, people just don't. Oh, you didn't watch the video. Okay, got it. You just saw the video pop up. Roger. You haven't actually watched it. Okay, well that makes sense. But yeah, okay. Again, not anything necessarily about you, but like it happens again and again and again. People just assume they're my cars, and they usually aren't. Renee LaChance sent me $6.99 Canadian. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. No comment attached. So I'll just say thank you. And if I see a comment from you in a bit, well, I'll read it. Yeah, it's a really cool truck. I like it a lot. Griffin Lloyd says, best gear ratio for the 4-speed transmission. Well, which 4-speed transmission, overdrive or non-overdrive, and what are you trying to do with this car? I mean, is it a strip car? Is it a street car? Is it a street strip car? Are you trying to get 20 miles a gallon? What are you trying to do? Do you need to be able to cruise 80 down the interstate? And again, do you have an overdrive or is this a non-overdrive? My Demon has a 410 and a non-overdrive, and it's awesome. But it's horrible at 60 miles an hour. So, you know, there's an important trade-off there. My mom still sometimes finds Gundam parts around the house. Yeah. Repair and Despair Garage is late, but I made it. Welcome. You did. You did the thing. And yes, Dead Studebaker Garage is... Rich Jordan says, can Teflon thread sealing tape cause a grounding failure on gauge sending units, or will the threads cut through to complete the ground as long as it is properly tightened? It's never been a problem for me. It should work just fine. It's possible, I guess, but I think by the time you get it fully tightened down, you should have metal to metal contact. So it shouldn't be a problem, but you can... Muscovy, yes, Darren, yes, they're Muscovies. Thank you. Muscovy ducks, which are technically not ducks. They're more like geese, and they do not quack. They scream. Anyway, you can use a multimeter and check resistance between the prong on your temperature sender and ground, you know, the body of it, or your engine block or battery negative. It doesn't matter, just any ground. Check the resistance, and if it shows as an open circuit with no resistance, it's not grounding. If you get any value, it's grounded. So, yes. Muscovy ducks. Weird-ass snake-headed ducks. Anyway. Oh, yes. We read this. Rainbow Man just found the channel. Welcome. Glad you made it. A lot of people have found the channel over the last couple months. The channel's doubled in size since June. And it doesn't seem to be slowing down. So we're already at almost 20.4 thousand. So it's all happening. Anyway, Old Iron BNSF, as in Burlington, Northern Santa Fe, which is now part of... Didn't they get eaten by... Is it UP? I don't remember. Anyway, Old Iron BNSF just finished doing the wipe. Did you see my entire brain fart there? Old Iron just finished doing wiper bushings on a tin grill. Strangely difficult. Yes, it's horrible. It's the worst. Yeah, it's not the worst, but it's really annoying to do. There's not much room. My trick is channel locks. You pull the wiper arms, you pull the cowl out, you know, the heater intake, and then you can get in there to them. I pop the one off the motor and then swing both pivots over, and then you can kind of sort of reach them, but it's not fun at all. You get in there, you pop the whole thing out, take it out, put it on the bench, replace all the bushings, try to get the pieces pointed the right way, and then get them back in there, squeeze them in place, make sure you grease them, squeeze them in place with the pliers, then do the motor one, and then back together. I have done a handful of them, and yeah, they're really, really annoying. That's not a fun job. No Clue Garage said Berkshire Hathaway Railroad. Donnie said that, not No Clue Garage. Yeah, pretty much that. Hey, I've got a 1975 Dodge D10, D100 that I'm swapping a 727 into. Do they make a floor shifter for truck specific? No. So you're just going to have to do an aftermarket shifter with a cable on the pedestal. No, there was no floor shifter in those years that I'm aware of. I don't think there was. Did the Swept-Line CSS have a floor shifter? I feel like it was a thing at some time in the way back. But yeah, no, that's aftermarket. Yeah, they had a console, but they were still column shift. Column shift. Yeah, I don't know why. For some reason, I was just thinking some trucks sometime had a floor shifter, but nah. Apparently not. Or I'm just not thinking of what it is. Rooster says, no, you're an idiot, but we still love you, son. Well, I have my moments. Lovejoy says, I'm still getting comments on the Brett video about the toolbox that fell off the roof. I uploaded that video like 8 months ago. Yeah, get that all the time. Sorry, that is truck specific. What is? The shifter thingy? Oh, a floor shifter that is truck specific. Yeah, so usually what people do is they just use the generic, performance shifter, mega shifter, B&M, whatever. They're all the same. And then they just build a little pedestal for it to sit on. That's what I've seen. Oh, okay. I was thinking Thunderbird, but I couldn't nail down what year it is. It's the Thelma and Louise Thunderbird. Okay, gotcha. Stage Zero says, wow, 360 subs just from one video. I'm just about to hit 390 in time for the quiet season because too cold for videos. Yeah, that sucks, man, because the cold season is when I get the most views because people stop doing things and start hanging out inside and watching videos. I mean, last year was my first winter monetized, and the holiday season, November and December were my biggest 2 months ever, until things kind of took off this year. And again, I'm fairly certain this month is going to be my biggest month of all time. So it's really interesting. I don't usually, most of my average videos, I pick up like 10 to 25 subscribers. The more videos I put out, the better it is. And then I'll have a really good video every couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, maybe. Like 2 weeks ago, I put out 4 videos and they all did super, super well. And that's a big part of how I got to 20,000. So yeah, it's hit or miss, but I have videos that I've gotten 1,000+ subs on. So yeah. No Clue Garage says, I'm not an idiot. That Studebaker was kind of cool. It fought you, but it was cool. Yeah, that's how I feel. It's not that I'm an idiot. It's just, I do idiot things sometimes. And usually the idiot thing is I try something and it doesn't work, but I put it on video on the internet for everyone to see. I was accused on the RAM charger video of whining or complaining like a couple times. I mean, honestly, the first day of filming, I was just not having a good day or week, frankly. But I wasn't trying to, sound complainy or anything. I've been trying with that video and the Studebaker video, a lot of things lately. I'm trying to illustrate what it's really like to work on these cars. Like, sometimes things are easy. Sometimes it's really fun. And a lot of the time, it's really super annoying. Things don't make sense. Nothing goes the way you want it to. Everything takes 7 times as long as it's supposed to. And things suck, and you end up with grease on your face and reeking of gasoline, and you just have a bad time. So, I don't know. I've just really been trying to illustrate the highs and the lows. I certainly don't want it to look like I know everything or like everything's all roses and puppy kisses and stuff. I want it to look real. And what's real is sometimes it's fine. Sometimes it's awesome. Sometimes it's awful. So anyway, and that was the Studebaker video too. There was a lot of awful in the Studebaker video. I mean, every triumph was immediately followed by 2 more failures. So I am happy to report the rubber plugs are staying in the block. I can fire it up and move it. I've done that several times. I started tuning on it a little bit 2 days ago and got it running better.
which is cool. We're going to have that thing dyno tuned at some point. So yeah, there's definitely going to be more video coming on the Studebaker before it goes back to Dave. People like it. So yeah. Oh, Speed and Demon. I just happened to pop down to the bottom. Speed and Demon says, screw what the trolls say, they can F off. Your content is awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, and the thing is, any comment is a good comment because it brings more attention to my videos. So that's fine. And again, especially that video, like it's doing really, really well. And if a good part of that is the negative comments, that's fine. No problem. No problem. Airstream65 says, thanks again for the cam swap advice on my 67 Dart. Finally getting it sorted. Awesome. You are welcome. Very good. Glad to hear it. Donnie says, what would make my 318 lose oil pressure? I was going to message me about this. Yeah, you got it. You're drinking water? Yeah, I'm taking the night off. I wasn't drinking water because you said that. Oil pump check valve, not check valve, oil pump pressure relief valve. And yeah, that is possible. But usually the pressure relief valve, you'll have like no pressure at idle. And well, you said you're like 18 pounds at 2,500 RPM. So maybe you do have no pressure at idle. That could well be the pressure relief valve. Seen that happen a couple times. I've seen one stick shut and lead to blowing oil filters off and doing all kinds of cool things too. But more common to have it stick open. So that's most likely your issue. The pump's still working. It is still circulating oil, but it's not able to build up enough pressure in there. So eventually that's going to do bad stuff. There are other possibilities too. Yeah, 0 at idle, Donnie says. Yep, most likely the oil pump pressure relief valve. There are other possibilities, but most of them would come along with horrible noises. So that's going to be your most likely there. You also could have goofed up the oil pump drive shaft, but I think more often than not, the timing would slip as well. Pretty sure. Dead Studebaker garage. I used to open videos when they weren't Dodges or Mopars. It would be dead Plymouth garage, dead boat garage, dead Ford garage, you know, all that. I stopped doing it, but I also haven't done as much non-Dodge Mopar stuff. So anyway, dead Studebaker garage could work. Good stuff. Stacy loved Colin's road trip. Just watched a video on a massive flash flood at Capitol Reef in June 2022. Pretty sure it was at the exact same place he and Hot Dog went hiking. Wow. Huh. I hadn't heard about that. Maybe I did and I forgot. Interesting. Louis Tacone watched the entire Impala video and enjoyed it very much. Awesome. Yeah, I honestly, I haven't even watched the entire Impala video. I watched the first 10 or 15 minutes, the very end, the part where he met up with us in Oregon, and that's it. I haven't had that much time this weekend. But yeah, you know, I mean, I thought it was cool. It's a little different. He does things in a similar but not the same way. I'm not surprised that it didn't do super well on the channel. I mean, it's a Chevrolet. And it's not mechanicking. It's not a build. It's not a, you know, it's just, it's a little different. But yeah, currently that video is, so I get rankings for the last 10 videos, and that video is currently 7 out of 10. So, you know, I mean, not amazing, not horrible. Those videos that are under it also didn't do too bad either. So, you know, we're at a time where each video is kind of doing better and better. So it is hard to like, it's hard to pay attention to those rankings too much. But anywho, yeah, I thought it was cool. I do need to finish watching it, but it's live on my channel. So I was about to refer to how many people were here, and then a few people left because that's just what happens. So 97 of you out there. If you haven't hit like on the stream, please do that. And if you have any questions for me, technical questions about Mopars, personal questions, music questions, song requests that I won't play, or other comments about this week's video, go ahead and drop them, and I will get to them in a bit. Donnie says, regardless, 360 Magnum swap is happening. Yes. And that Studebaker video was dynamite. Thank you. Yeah, I thought it was something. It was just a real roller coaster of emotion. And I was working on it for so long. I don't even, by the middle of the video, I didn't talk like I talked at the beginning of the video. Never wrenched live before. You're going to learn today. Brian says, do you have to, cab doesn't include inner fenders. What could? I have a, you guys have seen it. It's been in many videos, just in the background here. I started a video on it forever ago when I bought it from Lambinsky's garage, but I never got around to it. And my friend Mike needs a cab for a D100. So I think I'm going to sell it to him, and I think we're going to put that cab on that chassis. Yes, dear.
That's which one is a drive?
The Snickers.
No, which one is a drive?
That one. The one that's a drawing. It's that one, isn't it? Hit it. Let's go. I ain't got time for this. It's.
I think it's that one.
Yeah. Wow. Brian wants to know, do you have to stop playing video games to be an adult? If so, count me out. I'm an adult. I don't play much anymore. But, especially this time of year when it gets crappy and outside activities aren't really a great option. Yeah. I can always wander out to the shop and light a fire and, do that. But, the other thing now is I'm at a point where it's cars video, like all day, every day. So it's nice to just take a break every once in a while. And I don't do that much. So, yeah. Bill Johnson bought that Coronet from Binford Auto Wrecking over in Kent back in August. Now chasing some electrical gremlins and figuring out an exhaust. Awesome. Well, as mentioned a bit ago, if you need help with that sort of thing, I do have a playlist of videos assisting with common Mopar electrical problems on my channel. And I also do answer questions for people all the time on electrical stuff. It's just, it's kind of my wheelhouse, I guess. It's really my specialty. One thing that I have a pretty good grasp on is the electrical systems in these cars. So if you need any assistance there, let me know. And Bill also said the Wreck Challenger donating its Hemi, maybe donating its X-Pipe mufflers for the short term. My friend Mike put a set of those mufflers on his Dart, and it sounds pretty good. I like it. Project Mopar is here, and this daylight savings is making me tired. I don't know if it's the change of the season or just that I'm doing too much in life, but I am also tired. If you can't tell, I feel like everything about me right now says it's time for a nap, hence the name of this live stream. Old Iron says, I've never understood the full-time transfer case. I haven't ever gone hardcore off-roading until you explained it in your Ram Charger video, so thanks for that. Oh, awesome, yeah. The 203, it's very interesting. I mean, if you know anything about all-wheel drive, it's the same idea. There's just an extra differential in the middle, because same as if, the reason a differential exists in the first place, in the case of cars, is for the axle, rear axle, so that your tires aren't locked together going around corners. Well, if you had full-time four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, but the front was locked to the rear, then one rear tire and one front tire may also do weird things on the road. So by putting that differential set in there, they just allow a slip between the two. So yeah, it works better on the road that way. But then you can lock it in for better traction. And most of those have open diffs front and rear. A locked diff in the rear would be a huge asset. Yeah, those trucks are cool. They tend to go anywhere. I had one rusty short bed. And it was great. It was so cool. It really would go anywhere. But my friend Connor, who showed me that it would go anywhere, was the one to inform me of the problem with the full-time setup. The problem is that truck will get you anywhere you want to go. And by the time you get there and you get stuck, you're already in four-wheel drive. So what are you going to do? Yeah, they will get you far. So anyway, yeah, someday I probably should do a transfer case video, I guess. I like trucks a lot, and I play with them a good bit here. I personally prefer the part-time setup, the 205 and related units. But the 203 is fine. It's done really well for me over the years. Functional History says, you were talking about your most popular videos. I actually thought the corn dog video would be huge for us, but Project Smokey from Junkyard Digs is still out to dig. Feel like we let you down. Still our top dog. That's funny. That's a really good typo, actually. I don't think you let me down. I was hoping it would be a big boost for you as well, because I did, I shared it on the channel and I pimped it a good bit for you. So I guess it didn't quite have the desired effect on either side, but I'm glad we did it. Obviously, I get to enjoy the benefit, the fruits. Repair and Despair Garage says, any plans for Corn Dog Charger merch? I bet that's another great typo. I bet it would sell very well, or it would make a killer t-shirt. Yes. Yes. Eventually. So Fitz had a design on the board that involved the Corn Dog Charger. It was kind of based on the Corn Dog car chase. I hope to see that come to fruition eventually. We just haven't really been getting anything done on the merch, which is like, dude, I don't have enough time to think about it. But I would like to get some new designs in the store. I have a list of ideas, and many volunteered by people here in this group. So yeah, that could happen. I've seen a graphic version of the Corn Dog Charger that is the same type of artwork as used on our other designs. So eventually it will make its way to a shirt. Donnie says I should do Corn Dog Charger Christmas ornaments because it's the season. I don't think that's going to happen. Good stuff. Yeah, it'll happen eventually. It has to be. Rooster said this too, like when we were first doing shirts. He said, put your charger on a shirt. Well, I didn't want to just put my charger on a shirt, just that, because I want it to be something that's special to the channel, specific to the channel, or I don't think it's really worth doing. I don't know. I guess the car is pretty iconic at this point, so just a Corn Dog Charger shirt. Maybe side profile, so you can get the full effect of the stripe and the roof. Maybe it could just say the Corn Dog Charger. That would confuse people. And it would also probably make people not want to buy it. So, yeah, maybe we'll do that. No Cool Garage says, you mentioned in the, I think, Ram Charger video about the amp meter gauge bouncing. I can't remember what you said on how to fix that. Yes, the amp gauge. Yeah, so, stupid phone. It's all good. I got it. I'm pretty good at deciphering these, guys. Yeah, so that one is weird. That amp gauge is just going crazy, and I'm not really sure why, because there are no other symptoms that there's a charging system issue. The lights are nice and bright. Everything looks good. It's not overcharging. It's not undercharging. It's not flickering, flashing. It seems to be fine, but the gauge is kind of going apeshit. So that truck has a PowerMaster alternator. That's an upgraded alternator that's going to have a higher output than the factory one. So long term, we really don't want all that output going through the amp gauge. On its best day, the amp gauge was good for like 40 amps. And when you go up to like 100, not to say that the alternator will necessarily be putting that much out under most conditions, but it could. And if it tries to run all that through the firewall connector, through the amp gauge, bad stuff's going to happen. So I think there might actually be something wrong with that gauge. We're going to start with the amp gauge bypass. Normally, just the upgraded alternator doesn't make the gauge do that. So I think there's something wrong with the gauge as well. So what I do is I shouldn't call it a bypass. It is, but it isn't. I add a shunt wire, and that shunt wire shunts part of the charge load around the amp gauge. So it improves things a lot. I highly recommend that. Even with a stock alternator, it's a good upgrade. I still need to do a video just about that. I talked about it in my charging system video way back, but I haven't done a video simply about the shunt wire upgrade. But I do talk about it in my charging system video. So yeah, that's just a heavier gauge wire that goes from alternator straight to battery positive, or something connected to battery positive, ideally with a heavy duty breaker or fuse in the middle to prevent fire. Yeah, anyway, that is the upgrade I'm going to do. And then we will see if the amp gauge is still fritzing out after that. We'll probably just bypass it because it shouldn't be doing that. And that truck also has a volt gauge next to the amp gauge. I'm not sure it's working right now, but it may not be wired correctly. It appears to be a factory volt gauge, but the backlight's a different color, and I don't know what to think about that. Geo1 says, do you ever drive your charger in the winter? I do. If it's dry and it's nice out, I do. And I almost took it out on Friday, but I currently have a 440-727 combo blocking it in the shop. I need to stab that into a van that's here that's been in pieces for like ever. That I initially was going to put a Cummins in. That didn't work out. So now it's going to be a 440 powered 1-ton van with a Dana 60 and a tow hitch. Neat. I probably won't actually use it for anything, but it'll be cool. But anyway, yes, I drive my charger when it's nice enough. Don't really have to worry about salt around here. So if it's relatively dry out, I'll take it out. I certainly don't daily drive it during the winter. Our problem here is rain. There is so much rain. And that car already has, crouching tiger, hidden rust bubbles everywhere. So I don't want it to get worse. And if it gets soaked on the underside routinely, it's not going to get better. So yeah, I do. I certainly don't want it to just sit there all winter. I drive the Demon too, on nice dry days. I take the Demon out. I just had it out last week. In fact, I ran out of gas pulling it into the shop. So that was cool. Disco Mobile says, I know real fancy late 50s, early 60s D series had push button shifters. Not fancy ones, all of them. All of them. They weren't doing column shifters in that time, so your automatic shifter was a push button setup. That started in 56. And went until... Oh, when did they stop doing that? I mean, 60 sometime. My 61 D300 flatbed had a push button, and it was a push button 3-speed automatic, not 2-speed. Power Flight was the 2-speed. Torque Flight's the 3-speed, but there was an iron version that I think people call the Iron Flight for some reason, and that was in trucks and stuff. Anyway, No Clue Garage thought I was having a stroke for a minute. I might have had a stroke. It's totally possible. It's unlikely, but it's possible. Joel says, meanwhile, I forgot everything you said. If you're on Facebook, find the Dead Dodge Garage Facebook page, shoot me a message. If you're not on Facebook, you can email me. And my email address it's on my YouTube channel. So if you don't get this down, you can go to the main YouTube channel, and in my info, oh crap, no, it has the Dead Dodge Garage at Gmail address there now, which I don't even have access to anymore. It's on my Facebook though. You can go to my Facebook and get it. Hair magically landed in front of the camera. But my email address is Jamie Noise, JAMIENOISE @gmail.com. All Classics Restoration dropped in a while ago and said, good evening, Jamie and DDG gang. Editing video here tonight, way behind. Yeah, word to that. You're not putting out a Monday video, are you? Mondays are the absolute worst days for videos. That's what I've learned. I'll put this up on the board. I agree. I don't really have any trolls anymore. I have people with dumb comments, but they never hang around. And that's fine, It is what it is. I mean, I put this stuff out on the internet, warts and all, and some people don't like the warts. I mean, guy, this is real life. That's where I live. I'm doing this, the most genuine way I know, the most realistic way I've been able to come up with. So, yeah, whatever. I mean, they can comment. All it does is help my videos in the YouTube algorithm. So it's all good. Excuse me. Richard Stanberry says, I would like to see you do a full, kinda, restoration on an old Barracuda to make it a decent daily driver, including paint and body. Pole barn garage makes it look fun. Here's the problem. It's not fun for me. I don't enjoy body work. I'm actually okay at it. Donnie and I just knocked the 66 Barracuda out in 4 days. I helped with a lot of the body work. I did okay at that. I refused to spray any of the paint. I didn't want to mess it up. It kind of got messed up anyway, but that's not the point. It's a good lesson is what it is. But anyway, that's not my thing. It's really not my thing. And as you just said, there are other channels doing it, I'm not into that. I don't care to do that. And I've already learned on my own cars that I shouldn't strip things down and try and restore them. It will not go well for me. Just won't. So you're probably not going to see that here. Now, someday, my 68 Charger, I just mentioned, it's got some hidden rust and things that need to be fixed. So someday I'm going to fix that car, and then we'll paint it. So, I'm not saying I will never do it, but it's going to be a rare day that I do. And I'm not going to do it for just anything. I'm not going to do it just for the sake of restoring things. I never thought I would be this guy, but I am. I'd rather just buy a done car. I'd rather just get a car that's nice. I like to play with junk. I like to see what I can do with very little. Someone had something to say about that in the comments. They said, I don't like the way you rush things in videos. You should slow down and get things right the first time. I don't even have a response to that. But anyway, yeah. Don't bank on seeing it anytime soon, but it could happen eventually. Bell James says 64 was last year for the push button. I knew it was in cars. I wasn't sure if it was the same in trucks. But that makes sense. Oh, my mom says, just popped up on Facebook Memories, my first band, Audrey's on Fire's first public performance, August 13th, 2005. Yeah, I knew it was August 2005. I didn't know the date. Can confirm you have been performing in public for 18 years. Anywho, might happen someday, Richard, but don't hold your breath. Bell James says, yeah, you might be able to convert a motorhome below dash shifter to a floor shifter. Maybe an A100 auto shifter, maybe make a console box. I was going to mention those motorhomes and A100s, very similar shifter. And actually trucks, swept-line trucks use those after the push button, but before column shift. There was a sliding shifter on the dash, very much like those motorhomes. So, yeah, I was going to mention those exist, but if you're going to put it down here on the floor, I don't know why you wouldn't just do a performance style one. I think it would be a better setup and easier. Those are a cable shifter. They work. They're in tons and tons of motorhomes. So, yeah. Glenn Uromi says, that's why I like your videos. You keep it real. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You hit the ugly. Exactly. Yeah, that's my take on this stuff. It's not all chocolate dollars and puppy dog kisses. Sometimes it sucks. And I don't want anyone to get the idea that it doesn't. I don't want anyone to get the idea that everything goes perfect in these projects. And I don't want anyone to get the idea that I know everything. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Rooster just won a vintage RAC race. 8 grand tack on eBay for $76 for the blown cornet. Nice. Very nice. Oh, Old Stuff Rule says, my DDG t-shirt came the other day. The wife said, that's cool. Can I see it? Then she walked out of the room with it and said I should get myself one too. Guess I'll be ordering another one soon. Well, thank you very much. They're really nice shirts. I'm serious about that. They are really nice shirts. Project Mopar says no oil pressure, bad rear cam bearing. That is a possibility. In theory, I think any of the cam bearings can kill the oil pressure because they're all plumbed to the oil galley. An internal plug blowing out, a lifter coming up out of the bore. I just saw this. Push rod pushed through the rocker arm. There wasn't any noise, but it wiped out a cylinder. And then the one next to it somehow ended up bent. The bent one fell out, and the lifter stayed in place for a bit, but then it finally got pushed up and out, and all of a sudden oil pressure was gone. So when I said there are different things that can happen, that's what I mean. I mean, there are other things that can happen. You could have wiped a bearing, but again, I feel like there would probably be more noise involved with that. So anyway, maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. Joel Shooter says, if you were a know-it-all, no one would watch. F them if they can't take a joke. Yeah, definitely F them. Busy End says, Jamie, do I contact you or Tom to build my car? 74 Fury Gen 3 Hemi twin turbo build. Definitely contact Tom. And it's going to be a while till we can even do that. That's going to be quite a build. I'll just tell you right now, that's not anything 64 Fury. Okay, now I'm more excited. I like 64 Furies. Interesting choices. Anyway, we've never done anything like that, just so you know. We've done exactly one Gen 3 Hemi, but you saw on video how it turned out. I mean, I kind of know what I'm doing. That would definitely be a job for us to do at Rocket. I would not volunteer to do that here. And honestly, I don't know if Tom will be interested in it because there are just so many unknowns there that we've never dealt with. As much as I want to be that guy, you might want to find someone that knows something about twin turboing Gen 3 Hemis. But I don't know. Reach out to Tom, I guess, see what he thinks. That would be quite something. Howdy, Fleetwood. How's it going? Fleetwood also said, love your videos, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yes, No Clue Garage. The Studebaker sounded good. A little choppy. Yeah, it's quite the cam in that. I didn't get the details on the engine. I got more details on what is in it recently. It has Chevy valves and valve springs. Didn't know that. Custom ground cam and port work on the heads, of course. And it has been overboard. Apparently, it's like a 299 cubic inch now, something like that, or 3. Maybe it's a 301. I can't remember. Anyway, good bit done to that engine over a stock 289. There's quite a bit of science going on in there. No Clue Garage also said, haters are always going to hate because they wish they had your knowledge. Just my opinion. Keep kicking ass on the videos, Jamie. Thank you. Really appreciate that. They don't take long enough to realize that I do have knowledge. They find the first mistake, jump on that, and then leave. And that's fine. You know, we don't need that kind of negativity in our lives. I've changed a couple hearts and minds over the years. I have gotten a couple comments that were just like dumb, and then they've been corrected. Good times. Anyway, Al Sirius here and says, really late to the party. I was only supposed to be a temporary home for my German Shepherd. I try to hit all your lives. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate that, and appreciate your comments on the videos as well. Snowmonk VX is here and says, good evening, DDG. Stock Mopar electronic 318 distributor. Base mechanical advance is too little. Vacuum advance attached is too much. Best move going forward. What do you mean too little? Do you mean on the top end? What are you doing? What are the specs on this engine? Is this a pretty stock engine? How many degrees are in the distributor? You say too little. Well, you can leave the vacuum disconnected and turn the distributor to get as much as you want on the top end, or retard it and then reattach the vacuum. If this is a performance engine, I mean, in all likelihood, you probably want to recurve your distributor. Birdsong had a couple videos recently about running Vacuum Advance. I'm going to do a whole thing on that. I have some thoughts on it, but if you haven't seen my video, Performance Timing Curves for Dummies Like Me, go watch that. And I kind of show you what I have done for performance builds. I talk about the issues with stock timing curves. And there are some. But yeah, most likely what you need is a shorter advance curve, and you may or may not want vacuum. There are different ways to do that. I'm going to do some experimenting with it myself before I come out and say, do exactly this and it's going to work great. Thing is, that's what Birdsong did. He said, you need to do exactly this. This is what I do, and I run this many degrees, and it's perfect, and this is what you need to do. And you can't just say that for every single case. That's not how any of this works. So anyway, yeah. We did do a live show together and complained about haters some. That is true. Yeah, fun story time with Rooster too. Yep, lots of drag racing history. Rainbow Man says, I think it's cool you involve your family in the videos. I watch another channel and it involves the whole family. Sleeper Dude. I knew before you said Sleeper Dude that you meant Sleeper Dude. And yeah, and it's cool, you know, and that works well for him. My family doesn't have, my daughter and my wife don't have much interest in doing car things. My daughter likes to be on camera, especially for the lives now and again. My wife's been on the show, I think only once, maybe twice. You know, they're not car girls, which is fine. But yeah, my brother, he does car things, and he's actually just making whole videos now and editing them and just having his own submissions. So, yeah, it's fun. So yeah, I'll never quite be at Sleeper Dude's level. That is seriously like, it's a whole family operation over there. So yeah, but thank you. Joe's Mopar Mess says, C. Cookie starts with C. Rainbow Man's Power Wagon had the full-time four-wheel drive. Yep. I've had a good few Power Wagons and Power Rams, you know, the 80s version of the same thing. The Power Wagon I did the most seat time in, I had for years and years. It was a 75 W100 short bed, 318 automatic, full-time 4. And that's the one I was talking about a bit ago. That truck was abominable. It would go anywhere. It was a 318 two-barrel. It was great. It was super fun to drive. It didn't seem slow at all. It was, you know, it was a good time. It was loud. It was obnoxious. It would go all kinds of places. And other than voltage regulators failing once or twice a year, it could not be killed by conventional weaponry. After that, I had a 78 W200 long bed single cab, big block, also full-time 4. And that was a great truck too. Never really did any wheeling with it, but I liked it. And then, yeah, I've had a couple 80s Power Rams, and those are part-time. And they have the vacuum hubs or the vacuum center axle disconnect from 81 on hubs and then the center axle. So anyway, they're part-time, but a little different setup than the older trucks. Tulsa wants to know, biggest burnout your Charger's done? 2 burnouts might qualify. And it's not a burnout car by any means. But and both of them were after I changed the gears, actually. I never really did any with the 430s. No, exactly one burnout qualifies as the biggest burnout. It was after I changed the gears. It was like a couple weeks after I changed the gears. My friend Byron, who's been in a couple videos. Actually, we're working on producing another video right now, but it stopped in the middle. Actually, it stopped more toward the beginning. Anyway, I was at his house and he said, you know, will that thing do a burnout or whatever? So I did. And it spun both tires, 323s. These are 295s in the back, so not small. A stock 383 with a 4-barrel put on it. And it burned both of those tires for a block and a half. That's the biggest one I've done. Again, it's not a burnout car. I've tested it a few times, you know. But yeah, that was the biggest for sure. No Beret dropped in a bit ago and said, "Oh no, I almost missed the show." Well, dang it, you're here now. So glad you made it. Donnie says, I cannot find the spool mounts for the 360 or the 318 at that. The big box stores are the wrong ones. I believe you said I need to change the 318 to 360 mounts. Can't remember. You don't need to. You can use a spacer to make it work on the 360 Magnum. That's fine. It's not a problem. But you need bushings. I've seen them online. Spool mount, but not the whole mount. Just the insulator. It's called the insulator. Big box spool mounts, 73 to 74 spool mounts. Year one sells just the insulators, but they need to be pressed into the original brackets. And I think I'm not sure if those are like that or not. They might be capped over the bushing at the ends. I can't remember. But yeah, you can get just the insulators. Year one carries them. Someone somewhere has them in polyurethane, which would probably be a good way to go. It'll firm it up a lot, but, you know, that's fine. Race car. Schumacher has the transmission mount with polyurethane in it, but I don't think they have the inserts. So, yeah, you're looking for the spool mount insulators. They are out there somewhere, apparently at year one for one place. Chewy says, being a Matco Tools distributor from Wisconsin, it is nice to see our tools in use, but more importantly, I've subscribed because of your style of videos. Your wit will bring success to your channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Chewy. I do have a ginormous, it's not even that big, a good size 3-bay 6S box with a hutch, a bunch of broken USB ports because they suck. One of the light LEDs in my hutch is flickering, has been almost since it was new. And my locks are goofy for some reason. I have a lot of Matco sockets. That's about the end of it. I like the sockets. I like the box, even for its flaws. I like it. It's probably the last toolbox I'll ever have. I like my local Matco guy, but I have to say, I went through some really crappy times with Matco ratchet handles. Those, soft grip flexi head ones. Green and black, and they came in other colors too, but mine were all green and black, and they were just garbage. They just sucked. I had them fixed so many times. So that really kind of turned me off of Matco in a lot of ways. Still like the sockets. I have ADVs that are like a decade old now and just keep taking the abuse. So anywho, the goods and the bads. I switched over to Snap-on handles. I like them better, but it's usually, I have Snap-on sockets too. Anyway, I've got a ton of other Matco stuff. There's so much money in Matco stuff. I'm pretty sure I put our reps kid through college single-handedly. Anyway, thank you very much. I think what I'm doing is unique. No one has told me that I'm trying to copy Vice Grip Garage for a while. So I think that's good. Recently, someone told me that I was copying, and they said a name. And I was like, who is that? And it was Junkyard Diggs. And I was like, I have never watched one of his videos. Well, your speaking style and the way you shoot things, it's almost just like his videos. Okay, news to me. I had no idea. I don't even think that's true, but anywho, I think my videos are kind of unique. My approach to this is a little different than lots of people trying to make it big in the YouTube world, and it's paying off for me. So yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yes, Donnie's current engine mounts are definitely anist. Hi, where's my phone?
It's down the living room.
Okay, what do you need? No.
Why?
Goodbye.
I said why?
Because you didn't do your spelling homework this week. Every single time we were like, hey, why don't you go do your spelling homework real fast? You said, no! So you don't get Robux. That's the deal, girl. Now I am trying to live stream. So you better go make... Yeah, that was after you lied and told me Mom said you could have a reward today.
I forgot that she said bad stuff.
You forgot she said bad stuff. Wow. All right. Anyway, Mr. PF Flyer says, it's in the air. Sorry, but I'm going to try and sleep while listening to the soothing sounds of DDG. Well, I don't know if it's soothing, but I appreciate that, and take it easy. One person early on in the history of the channel said my voice was soothing in a comment, and that was interesting. I'll never forget it. Bill Johnson says, okay, Jamie, tech questions. Is there any difference between the steering wheels for 71B body tilt column and standard column? Ooh, I don't know that. I've never even seen a B body tilt column around that time. Or ever. I don't even think my 79 has one. It might. It might, but I don't know. Don't know. Tom would know. I know in trucks, the tilt columns are actually GM columns, and things tend to be very different there. And on electrical side, I have no temp fuel gauge function or dash lights. Instrument fuse has no power either side, key on. Any usual suspects? Yes. The instrument fuse is powered through the headlight switch. The headlight switch is probably bad. The sweeper in that is what controls the rheostat. You know, it spins. That's what lights up the dash light. So usually with a car that's been sitting for a really long time, one of two things is going to happen. Either you'll play with the switch, with the spinny in the switch, until they magically start working, or you'll get a new headlight switch. Either way. But the instrument fuse will have no power if that switch is not sending power out. It's after the switch. And it's kind of goofy too, because the running light fuse actually powers, battery power goes from the running light fuse into the headlight switch fuse, and then out to the running lights, but also through a second feed back to the instrument fuse, and then that feeds the lights. It's very interesting. But yeah, that would be why if you put power straight to that fuse, I bet your lights will light up unless all the bulbs are bad or there's no gauge ground. And as far as temp and fuel gauge, as I mentioned earlier in this live, I do have a video on that. So I just refer you to that so I don't have to explain how it works here. But it's called Classic Chrysler Gauge Failure Diagnosis or something like that. Again, it is in that Mopar Electrical Guides folder playlist on my channel. Gauge I think it's classic. Yeah, Classic Chrysler. No, sorry. Classic Mopar fuel gauge problems and gauge voltage limiter info. I need to rename that video because I cover all of them in that. But it says Classic Mopar fuel gauge problems. So go ahead and click over to that, and it'll tell you exactly how those work. Everything you need to know will be right there. Donnie says he had a problem with his gauge lights, and his switch was actually loose in the dash. It did all kinds of weird things. He tightened it up, and everything worked fine. But that hasn't been my experience. Usually my experience is the contacts in the rheostat for the gauge lights will be fuzzed over. There will be corrosion in there. And so you turn it all the way to where the dome light comes on, then you turn it back, and then you just back and forth for like 20 minutes, and eventually they'll start working. That's been my experience. Busy End's old K Blazer got 6 gallons per mile. Well, hopefully 6 miles per gallon, but that's still quite bad. Full-time 4x4. My short bed power wagon I mentioned earlier, the small block one, you know, same wheelbase basically as that that K10 or whatever Blazer, K5, whatever. Similar size vehicle. It got about 13, pretty consistently 13. So, and I was thinking about, you know, maybe I do the conversion to try and get that gas mileage number up, but like, not worth it. You can put a kit in the 203 to make it a part-time case. But, you know, the full-time system works really well. All small block spools work. Yeah, well, yes, but the bracket for the 360 is different. There's a spacing difference. So that's what he was talking about. But you can make it work with a stack of washers or a tube spacer. And I explained that in the 318 to 360 swap guide video a while back. Glenn Jenkins says, awesome channel. You've made me a Mopar fan. I never knew that about myself. One of 2 channels I have notifications on for. Wow. Thank you very much, Glenn. I really appreciate that. I'm winning them over one by one. All the Chevy guys are coming over. Oh, Avon's right on time as always. How's it going, Avon? What is up? Yeah, thank you, Glenn. That's awesome. Really appreciate that. What a vote. Change fuse. If it blows or no power, you have a short. If we're talking about those gauge lights, I explained pretty well there what needs to happen. Gary Hergert is here and says McKechnie was fun. Talked with a couple fans of the channel. Nice. I don't know if you guys know. We've talked about it a little bit. Tom's complained about it at length a bit. Our branding problem, because I show so many rocket projects on the channel. I do run that bumper ad at the beginning of every rocket video, partially, promotion for Tom for letting me do all that, but also to try to explain. I say I'm Jamie at the beginning and then say Rocket is Tom in that ad, but people still just don't always get it. So they'll call him thinking he's me or, whatever. It keeps happening. It's good times. So anyway, Tom was very excited because he ran into someone at McKechnie who knew who he was, who I am, and that we both have channels, watches our videos, and knows that we're not the same person. He was so excited about that. Ross says you can use the range box from a 203 to make a doubler for the 205. Interesting. I didn't know that. That's cool. No Clue Garage says, most important thing is family. That's got to come first, which I'm sure it does for you. It does for me. Absolutely. It does. Although I certainly have the balance of stupid car stuff to family not as balanced as it should be. That would be very fair to say. I spend a lot of time on this stuff, and I do actively have to fight the urge to head out to the garage on the weekends. I do things with family. I try to do less car stuff. I do these live streams, of course, but I do try to save time for family, because that's very important. And yeah, I mean, you see how big my kid has gotten. That's happened overnight. I try to slow down and enjoy this time, but it's like she's going to be a teenager soon. It's ridiculous. Anywho, good times. Rooster, the Magnum, 360 mounts. It's the same thing. 360 or a Magnum. There are no Magnum specific mounts for these cars. Functional History says, I wasn't complaining. Oh, no, I know that. You did everything you could. Hey, you just read the merch question from Repair and Despair. What about selling little corn dogs? Now that the first one is done, we can knock them out in a hurry. Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready for the next one. I think we all know what that is. Oh, also, Gary Hergert is running out of money to keep buying cars and trucks on Marketplace and Craigslist, so you can keep doing revival videos. Yes, unfortunately, you have really good taste, and you buy quality stuff, and the people really like it. So I don't know what to tell you. It's not to the point where the video pays for the project, and it may never be. But, we might get there eventually. IB Thunder says, I've also converted, you have also converted me from Chevy. This is my last Chevy build. Wow. I didn't know I was converting people over to the Mopar lifestyle. It's really entertaining. I don't care what you build. It's just that I have the goods on the Mopars, and that's why I'm in this niche where I have this information that people need, and it's working out pretty well for me. So, but I'm not Mopar exclusive. I mean, there's a 64 Chevy and a 64 Ford in my yard right now, plus the Studebaker, plus an Astro van. Anyway, Javi Macia says, I know some are going to say, but why? Can I cut the chunk off a front diff from a first-gen Dodge and make it a straight axle? Been wanting to do such a swap on my 86 Ram. Can I cut the chunk off a front diff from a first-generation Dodge and make it a straight axle? I'm really confused. Like a tube axle? Are you trying to make a straight axle gasser or something? I don't understand. What are you building? I need more details. Good stuff. Old Iron says, someday in the not too distant future, there shall be a corn dog versus General Mayhem battle. Well, we'll see about that. Corn dog's nowhere near as fast as the General Mayhem. A Ratfink corn dog charger with a big corn dog shifter. I'm not going to do Ratfink. I will not do that. It's just not my style at all. I don't like Ratfink. And again, it's not unique to my channel, so it doesn't make sense. But I do like the idea of the big corn dog shifter. Maybe me sitting on the roof with a corn dog in one hand and like something for a steering wheel. I don't know. What? What about the cool whip Cuda, aka garbage can? A great old pic of the demon at the track. Yes, that's very cool. That picture is in my the binder with the car. That's it at the Mattel Hot Wheels World of Wheels 1972 race, something like that. I'm not changing the name. It's always going to be the garbage can. Cool Whip's a good one. I do like that. A big block van would be a decent tow vehicle for the drag car, and it would be great because I could throw a mattress in the back. It's a high-top van. I mean, it's a camper van that's all gutted, and our plan was to build it out and sell it back when camper vans were hot. But that never happened. We never got there. Oh, Barry Kuda is here because Tony's finished. I just noticed the number jumped up to 111, so I was figuring Tony must have just gotten off. So welcome to everybody hopping over from Tony's Live. This is, as always, the weekly Tony's live stream after party. So thanks for joining us. The big block van, high top van would be a great tow rig. It's just that I also have a Cummins that will get double the fuel economy while towing the car. The big block van offers the opportunity to put a mattress and tiny little kitchen setup and, that kind of stuff for camping with the race car behind me, which would be cool. I had initially planned to do a small diesel in that van. It was supposed to be a 4BT, and that would have been a really cool build, I think. At the time, no one that was watching my channel thought so, and so it didn't get any views, and I was like, screw it. I'm not going to do this if no one's going to watch, and I abandoned that project. Also, I had to sell all that stuff as part of buying my 68 Charger. I sold a lot of stuff. So, yeah. I might set it up and actually use it as a tow vehicle, but I have a Cummins powered crew cab Dodge with 4-wheel drive and heated leather seats. So I'm kind of spoiled. McLovin Garage says, glad I'm not the only one who's running out of gas while out cruising. Fuel gauges are so optional. I haven't run out of gas in a really long time. And that morning I did the slosh test on the Demon because I didn't want to stop and get gas. And I could hear there was a little sloshing around in there still. Okay, cool. So I ran to the bank. I ran back home. I ran to the bank. I ran to the parts store and ran back home. And then I ran later that night. I ran to the other parts store and then home again. And right as I was getting home, it ran out like pulling into the driveway. I heard it starting to go. I shut it off. I fired it up. I got it another 20 feet, pumped the gas. I ended up just using the starter to get it back in the shop. The thing is the Demon's going to be parked for a while, so I don't really mind having all the gas out of it because I run ethanol fuel. I've explained that before. I always run ethanol fuel. Yeah, Robert Hill, I'm aware that you're frosty. I'm well familiar. I've gotten that impression through the various comments. Robert Hill was not in Tony's Live. Anyway, fuel gauges are optional. They better be if you're driving a classic Mopar. You better just get used to it. I've been really good for the last many years. My brother, not so much. Nah, he's been doing better too. Old Iron says, 69, they moved the shifter from the dash to the column. Yes, 68, they still had that cool dash shifter. So the dash shifter in the swept line must have been 65 to 68. I just wasn't sure if they changed over in 65 as the cars did or not. I think that was federally mandated that the push buttons had to go away, if I remember correctly. I read that somewhere recently. For 440, 727, 1 ton. That's going to be sick. Can't wait to see it on the channel. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, there's a video on that van from last year. No one watched it. Yes, yep. Like I was just saying, yeah, I know cars were 64. I just wasn't sure if trucks were the same, but it makes sense. Yeah, it's going to be cool. I'm sure it will. Oh, all classics will set to come out Tuesday. Yeah. I don't know about you guys with channels. I've found that if I post weekday videos later in the day, on the weekends, I always put my videos out, 7, 8 in the morning, unless I'm not done with it, which is a common problem. Weekdays, I always release them at 11 a.m. my time, and that seems to catch people on their lunch breaks, and so that works pretty well. But I have never had a good video release Monday. I used to do daily videos, and Monday was never a good day. Joel says, how about doing a video on getting a clutch pedal off the floor and getting it working again? I would even volunteer my RAM charger. And thank you for the recap. Why is your clutch pedal on the floor? It shouldn't be. Did the linkage fall apart? Did something else horrible happen? I don't know. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't be a thing. Mopar 73 Duster. Hey, Jamie, have you had issues with your headlights flickering on and off on your Mopars? Yes, I have. And I've had it at awkward hours on dark roads. A couple times, actually. Yes. So, yeah. Basically, it's usually a dimmer switch problem. It could also be a wiring problem. It could also be a headlight switch problem. But there's a breaker in the headlights. And what will happen, similar to there's a breaker in the headlight switch. There's no fuse, but there's a breaker in there. And there's also a breaker in the wiper motor. I was talking about earlier in this live, the weird wiper motor thing I've seen once and heard of another time now, where the breaker in it will trip. And that seems to be what happens with the headlights. I think the dimmer switch is usually the culprit. High resistance in the dimmer switch. Basically, it's drawing more power through... Sorry, I read a further down comment and I had an entire brain fart. High resistance in the dimmer switch. It draws more amperage through the headlight switch to power the headlights, and it eventually heats up and trips the breaker. So that's what happens. Probably replace your dimmer switch. Could be a headlight switch issue. Could be a wiring issue. Could be a firewall connector issue, in theory. I usually, especially if I've had problems like that, am in the habit of converting headlights to run on separate relays. It takes all of the load off of those switches, and it fixes everything, and the headlights will be way brighter too. I have a video on that as well, and that is in my Mopar Electrical Guide playlist. So check it out if you're interested in that. But yeah, probably replace your dimmer switch and perhaps your headlight switch as well. One or the other, or both. My sister had to take an hour-long phone call. What did I miss? Oh, God, so much. I can't really recap all of it. We've been trying to reach you about your vehicle's extended warranty. I have a picture saved on my desktop, which is, damn it, what is it? It's really good. It's really good. It's that. It's, don't expect me to stop if you're broken down by the side of the road. You were offered an extended car warranty several times. Hilarious. Anywho. Roger, Busy End says, that's my question. We've seen you do it. Yeah, it's the turbo part of things where I go, because I have not done any turbo builds yet. I would like to, but I haven't done that. And I'm not sure. I mean, I'll bolt it together. That's fine, but it's going to have to be dyno tested. And again, just know I have not done that end of things. I'd love to be involved, but I don't TIG weld, so I'm not going to be able to do the plumbing. I'm not going to be able to fab any of that. I do steel work, not amazing steel work either. I can make brackets and things, but I am not a master fabricator by any means. I cannot do your turbo plumbing I could do the engine. I could wire the engine. I could make it run. I could swap it in the car. I could do all, that end of things. And if you have turbos and manifolds, I could mount them on there and plumb the oil side. But the more involved parts of the turbo swap, that's not me just yet. I am planning to turbo a Slant 6 at some point in the future. Captain X says, turbo 230 Power Wagon? No, I'm not going to turbo the Power Wagon. I like where your head's at, but no. I would like to turbo a flathead, but not my Power Wagon. So yeah, anyway, again, you've seen what I can do, again, as far as getting the Hemi in there and running, I can do that. I can set up that end of things and I can do a fine job, I think. But it's the twin turbo aspect of things where I will start to have problems. It's just not anything I've done yet. Blake Gaddis wants to know, Jamie, do you know where to get a clutch for a 65 D100? The hydraulic clutch MP435 has the 1" by 10 spline input shaft. I don't. Hopefully they're out there somewhere. I feel like 10 spline is common to... Isn't GM 10 spline? Is there a GM disc that would work? I don't know that. I know the hydraulic MP435 is special and different and stupid and everything's horrible. But yeah, I don't know as far as a clutch to fit it. Can't tell you. I haven't had to buy one yet. And I might have to because I own a 64 W100. So we'll see. Oh, Bell James says, my crappy internet connection is so random tonight. Gonna sign out and listen later. Night, y'all. Night, Bell James. Take care, and we will talk to you later. McLovin Garage says, can the gearing be changed in an overdrive 4-speed? Specifically, the 1-2 shift being closer together for added performance. Does Passon... They have a special gear set, and is that what it does? They have a 5-speed too, but I think they have a special overdrive gear set. Let me look that up. Overdrive gear set. I think that's something they do. Hemi overdrive. Wow. 18 spline Hemi overdrive. 4-speed overdrive, yada, yada, yada. Pass on 833. 4-speed overdrive for Hemis. Yeah, okay. So I guess they make one for Hemis. That wasn't what I was thinking of, though. I thought, yeah. Maybe that's it. And you just use that kit and use the Hemi 18-spine clutch. But, yeah, Passon did something like that. I don't know. For better ratios. And you could put that in a regular 4-speed. Now, what I was going to say is you would probably sooner find the gear set and put it in a regular 1-to-1 transmission because they're going to tend to be iron. They are going to be iron, whereas the overdrive tends to be aluminum. You don't really want the aluminum transmission. I've kind of done the math on that. We talked about that with Tom last week. So, yeah. Yep. They hate us because they ain't us. Damn it, boy, Rod Shop says, my 64 D100 has a push-button load flight. Yes, that is what they were called in trucks. It's the same thing. Did you, No Clue Garage want to know, did you see the Sleeper Dude video on the Killer 74 Dodge Motorhome? That is how they came to comment on my channel, because I put out my Magnum wiring video and I talked about, suggested donors, and like 3 or 4 people commented and said, oh, Sleeper Dude needs to watch this. And they let him know that my video was out there. And then he came over and watched it and actually commented. He also mentioned me in the video where they were moving everything into their new shop. Mind you, it was toward the end of an 1.5 hour long video. So, I don't know how many people actually noticed that was there. But yeah, I've seen it. I know he was having issues. And beyond that, I don't know if he's done anything more with it at this point. Stomach says, mild 318 4-barrel. Engine is happy at 14 initial. Mechanical advance takes it to 25-ish total. So you've only got an 11-degree curve? Vacuum advance goes above 45. Too much. Disable mechanical and only use vacuum? Recurve mechanical for more? Why do you only have 11 degrees? You said it was a stock electronic distributor. Those usually make they have a curve of like 21 on the low end to like, I just did one that was 31. It was a points distributor for 1969. And they are supposed to be timed at 0 degrees. It's a 31 degree spread in that distributor. So if you've only got 11 degrees, that would be weird. Are you sure you don't have 25 degrees in the distributor that makes it 39 and then the vacuum makes it insane? Just curious, because 11 degrees, I've never seen a stock Mopar distributor that only has 11 degrees. I would say 11 degrees is probably about right, but you say it is pretty happy at 14. Well, how is it at 20? The birdsong method appears to be basically not using mechanical at all and using vacuum full time. So then the vacuum goes away and drops. Donnie says that happened to me because of a bad timing chain, but I'm still not sure. Oh, slop in it. You're going to give me a headache. Yeah, the birdsong thing. He's saying he uses vacuum advance. He runs like 45 degrees of base timing, which some engines like. Engines with big, ridiculous camshafts and tons of overlap. They like that. The average engine doesn't. That's why I was saying about his videos. I'm going to do one of my own because he was explaining that to everyone, and it's like that works for your combination. It doesn't work for everyone else. Anyway, a little more detail. Just, are you sure there's only 11 degrees in that distributor? Because that does not sound right to me. That doesn't sound right. Usually they're 21 to 31. You know, they tend to have a lot of advance, and that is usually the tuning challenge with these things, because like in that 69, it was really happy at 15, maybe even 20 degrees of base timing. But with 30 degrees of spread in just the mechanical side of the distributor, it's going to end up at 50, which is bad. So I couldn't run it that way. And that's why I said in that video, as I've said in several other videos, just about every one of these engines could benefit from a recurve distributor. And I have come around to a way of thinking that using vacuum advance full time as part of your timing curve tuning to try to prevent pinging is probably a good idea. I'm not. Yeah, Robert Hill says 20 is about right. Yeah, that's what I think. You know, I think 20 is pretty common. There are some with more, but 20 is pretty common. Or do you mean 20 degrees base timing? Because that's what I think. I think that's what you meant. Yeah. It seems to land about 20. That's usually where these mild, hot rodded V8s want to be in my experience. Anyway, but I have seen engines that idled great at 50 degrees. So it's just all down to your camshaft and what's going on. Anywho, again, I did do a video on this subject, so I don't want to get too far off in the weeds, especially because I'm about out of time here. But yeah, awesome. Very cool. I will be doing more distributor timing videos in the future. Good few. I'm going to do a big one addressing all the different types of factory Mopar distributors, just the ins and outs of them, the components, what they're like, what interchanges between them, that kind of thing. And then I'm going to do more tuning videos. You know, obviously there is a lot left to learn there for me and for the viewers. That is what it takes. Yeah, Robert Hill says big blocks like advanced. Yes, that's my understanding. IB Thunder says total advanced 36. Yes, that's usually where I want to end up. And then vacuum. So, but in a performance build, I mean, it's pretty common to have a problem where you get the timing in the sweet spot and the vacuum just adds way too much. So another thing I want to address is tuning the vacuum advance, you know, changing the number of degrees you can get out of it. So, yeah. Greetings, Andrew Button. Thanks for dropping in here. But yeah, look forward to more distributor videos coming soon. I've got a whole lot more to say about it. I'm really getting into the nuts and bolts of distributors lately. I'm super excited about it. Donnie says, going to have to get going soon. Short week, luckily. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. 3 of the 4 Bernal put on it. That makes no sense. No idea. Moparts52 says, I am just starting my redo on my 72 CUDA. Had a 6.1 Hemi that I overheated and locked up. Ooh. So now pulling it out, putting in a 392, thinking supercharger. Do you recommend building motor before performance upgrades? The 392 makes 500 horsepower out of the box. I wouldn't even do a supercharger. I'd put the 392 in and have a party. But if you need more than 500 horsepower, okay. If you're considering boost, I'd be looking at what you can do to upgrade that engine to take it. Ring gap, are the pistons boost ready? How are the rods in there? I don't know. There are other sources for that information. I don't know. I haven't done that. I've never boosted a Hemi. Don't know anything about it. I wouldn't be doing a 3rd gen Hemi swap at all. But I did that one in the Challenger, just a bone stock 392 with a 6-speed. It was amazing. It was plenty of power. It's a street car. Why do you need more than that? If you're going drag racing or trying to be the fastest guy, okay. But I've said this before. I'm not the fastest guy. Never will be. Don't want to be. That's not me. So I can't tell you what you need to do to a 3rd gen Hemi to make boost. I have no idea. You could change the cam to go the naturally aspirated direction. There are plenty of builders out there that know those engines. I'm not one of them. So do some research on the internet. Brent Forte says, I love your brother's upgrades on your old CUDA, but is his new daily driver coming together piece by piece? It's currently parked. He did a bunch of work. He did drive it for a bit, and then he rotated that back out and started working on his Fury. That's the next video coming from him, is Fury upgrades. He has those 3 cars, the Impala, the Barracuda, and the Fury that are his daily driver fleet. He rotates through them. So right now the Barracuda's parked and he's doing Fury stuff. We're going to be doing an engine in the Fury coming up, among other things. And he's going to do another crazy road trip in that, I think, next year. So fun stuff. Barracuda has not been touched recently. I just saw it last night. I forgot it existed. It's over at our mom's house. But it'll be coming soon. There will be more on it. But yeah, he just kind of swaps between them. Yeah, you remember the Nightmare of the Mako handles because I gave one to you. But I think I took it back. No, I think I did take it back. I let someone else use it, and it got lost. Donnie's back. I forgot to grab a spatula to remove this Kingsford charcoal out of this 305. Sorry about that last comment. Talk to Text was listening to you. Well, that figures. So those were my words. Huh. Chris Freemaster says, you're not like Junkyard Digs. I didn't think so. Rainy day. Good night, Donnie. Good night, Jim. This is where I leave you. Cool, man. But we're going 60 miles an hour. Rainy Day Auto says, you're nothing like Junkyard Digs. I like both your channels, but each one of you has a different style for sure. Thank you. I thought so. Again, I've never watched a Junkyard Digs video. I think I've watched a couple clips, but I'm just, that's just not one I've ever really gotten into. So, yeah. I certainly haven't been researching, trying to rip his videos off. But yeah, someone said, or maybe it was like the way I talk, like the things I say or whatever. Like, I don't even remember. But they said that I was trying to be that guy, and I don't even know who that guy is. No offense, he's a way bigger fish than me. But again, I've just never gotten into his channel. She's in trouble. Didn't do her homework. Yeah, we haven't done very good at that lately. I have to help keep her on that. Andrew Button says, I'm used to GM wiring, and this Mopar wiring seems confusing compared to GM. That is almost the entire reason for the existence of my channel, is to explain these weird little Mopar idiosyncrasies to GM guys. Robert Hill, the Allen key adjusts the engagement point. It adjusts the tension on the spring. But what it does not do is adjust the total number of degrees that you can get from the vacuum advance. It changes or delays, or speeds up the engagement point, but it doesn't change the total number of degrees. And it's that number that I'm really interested in. And that's why I'm talking about modifying them in other ways. I use the distributor on my Demon has no vacuum advance, so I can't do this at all right now. But I'm going to change the one that does for exactly this reason. I want to be able to pull out, say, 5 degrees and just see what that does. And most of those vacuum advanced units give more advanced than that. So yeah, I just want to be able to tune it. I want to be able to really get into the nuts and bolts of that, see what's possible. Bill Johnson, 71 Coronet, has a tilt column, apparently an oddity. Yes, I think it is. Right on time as always. Guys, I'm going to have to go in just a couple minutes here. Oh, IB Thunder changed weights. Well, it's a lot easier to change the springs, but weights have nothing to do with the vacuum advance. I'm talking about tuning the vacuum advance only. On the mechanical side, springs are a lot easier if you want to change the engagement points. On the MSD style, there are weights that you can just get, not on a factory Mopar distributor. Everything that I'm going to do is on a factory Mopar distributor, probably. So, yeah. Nate's Meme says, I was injured at work. That sucks. Sorry, man. Unfortunately, I may have to sell my Mopar projects. Any suggestions on a good place to list them? Mopar parts projects and something is one Facebook group. Mopar Graveyard is another. Facebook groups, groups specifically to that project, that body style, and groups that are large and nationwide. You want to post in those groups and on Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace seems to be the only place anything is happening anymore. I think Craigslist is a ghost town. I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, Chewy. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, those were their older handles. I think they fixed it. He fixed so many of them under warranty, and then he said they had updated the heads so they didn't strip out anymore. But by that time, I'd switched to Snap-on, and I liked the action of them better. I don't have them anymore, so it's not a problem. But I'm still paying him for my toolbox. I got another 3 years left on that, so I talk to him all the time. The USB ports, he got the power box to fix it, but you have to take the top off, and I have a hutch, so we have to take the hutch back off to take the top off to take the power box out, which is just the stupidest thing. And meanwhile, one of the ones broke in the power strip in my hutch too, and it was just like, dude, I'm done with this. Anyway, as I was saying, guys, I just have a few more minutes here. I'm going to try and get through all the comments we've got. I should be leaving now, but technically I started 3 minutes late. So anyway, Nate's memes, Facebook seems to be where it's at. So hopefully you have luck with that. Farley's Garage. I have a 73 Roadrunner. I can't find a good diagram for the ignition harness. The wiring harness was removed. Do you know what wires do what? Yes, I do. And in the future, I'm going to do a guide called Every Wire Under Your Classic Mopar's Hood. And I'm going to do another one called Every Electrical Gizmo in Your Classic Mopar. But I haven't gotten to those yet. As far as the ignition itself, as in the coil, the ignition module, the ballast resistor, all of that I have diagrams drawn up for in my Mopar Ignition Systems video. Classic Chrysler Ignition Systems, I think is what it's called. It still gets hundreds of views a day. That's one of my earlier videos, and lots of people have seen it and have found me through that. So go check that out. If that doesn't tell you exactly what you need to know, there are wiring harnesses out there, wiring diagrams out there. I've seen them. You could get a 73 Plymouth service manual, and it's in there. They are in there for every model. So you should be able to find it. If you can find one for, say, a 68, one of the more popular years, they are very, very similar. But your 73 has factory electronic ignition. Those don't. So, yeah, I've seen diagrams for 73. You should be able to find them. I mean, I'd pop over to... you might have better luck going Dodge Charger. Just because, it's a Dodge Charger. So, might be easier to find info. I don't know. Let's see what we got. Jegs sells one, and it is nice and laminated. And there's a picture. That may be a generic picture. Yeah, that's a generic picture. Here's one out of the 73 Dodge manual. And again, it's almost exactly the same on the Plymouth. The only difference between them, running light wiring in the front is different, I learned recently. Other than that, they are very, very similar. So yeah, I just Googled 1973 Dodge Charger wiring diagram, and there is one right there. So that should tell you everything you need to know as well. YT Viewer 127 says, really want to replace the racing seats my 71 Swinger was sold to me with. Any interesting options out there that should fit? Comfort and looking nice are key. Modern Challenger seats are a decent option. They look all right. To me, they've got to look right in there. You know, I don't like modern style seats at all. So I like factory style stuff, but that's just me. I know modern Challenger seats work pretty well, so you might look into that. Robert Hill says, I just got here and it's rumble time already. Unfortunately, yes. Barry Kuda says, that didn't last long. What am I going to do now? I don't know. Maybe there's an after party. Rusty Fuel said, just buy the factory shop manual. And I apologize for doing commenter voice on that, but so many people in the group say that. Well, if you just had the factory service manual. All of the useful information in the factory service manual can be found on Google. It's nice having the book, but it's all online. It's all there. And I got along without those manuals for a really long time. Just saying. Busy End says, third gens must have bottom end upgraded to survive boost. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I kind of thought so. But again, I don't know. Never done it. Charles Weaver says, I like your confidence in your I don't know where that was going after that, but thank you. Joel Shooter started watching my channel because of my voice and the dry humor. Also, my 9-year-old grandson said he's just like you, Pop. There's that also. But you do sound professional. Thank you. I've gotten a little more professional on the videos. I still like to goof around, but yeah. I've tried to balance the two, and I've tried to realize the best correct real-life depiction of myself on video. That's a big goal of mine, and I think I've accomplished that okay. IB Thunder says, yes, you've also converted me from Chevy. Wow. Well, all right. A man's got to make a living for better living, and that's absolutely true, you know, and I'm still trying to balance those things. I have 3 jobs plus regular customer projects, side projects, I should say. I have a mail truck contract, rocket restorations, and this YouTube thing. This is a job. It absolutely qualifies. It might take up the most time of any of those things, and it's just crazy. So, yeah, I work my butt off. But, yeah, I mean, we need the money, you know? I'm just like the rest of you guys. I got to make a living. David Dodson dropped in a little bit late and said, greetings and happy Thanksgiving from us in beautiful downtown Lapine, Oregon. Thank you, David, and thank you for being here. I do see people starting to check out. It's about that time, although we still have 94 people. So thank you very much for hanging around. Appreciate that. If I don't see you in the comments section before Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I don't really know what I'm doing as far as videos for this week because I haven't even started on them. But I do need to do the 20,000 sub special, which will be a live stream thermo quad build. I don't know what day that's going to happen yet. It might be Friday. It might be Saturday. It might be Sunday. Don't know. I will make an announcement with a community post, but basically that's going to take the place of at least one of my normal videos. I don't know how long it's going to take. It may well be a couple-hour stream, so we'll see. Of course, you're welcome to join in and comment. I'm going to have at least my younger brother here running interference, reading out comments for me while I work on a carburetor. And there may well be a rotating cast of zany characters on top of that as well. So we'll see how it goes. If it's too early in the day, I won't be drinking, but we'll see. Muscle Car Mike says, Howard's or Isky flat tappet cam lifters, opinions or experience? I have none. I've heard Isky's good. I've heard Howard's is good. But I've also heard they're using the same lifters as everyone else. So I don't know. Robert Hill said, we did buy a Howard's. We haven't used it yet. We bought a Howard's because we heard that they were good, but it hasn't made it into an engine yet. Don't know when it will. Robert Hill found a car yesterday and didn't watch Tony. Brent Forte says, I love Mopars, but there's a special place in my heart for Pontiacs. Rip. There's a special place in my heart for Buicks. I really like Buicks. I had a 430 powered Buick Electra 225, and I really liked that car. It was a great car. Awesome cruiser, awesome ride, decent fuel economy, good power. I really liked that thing. Joel Shooter says, 32 Plymouth Coupe, chopped, channeled. You won't be seeing that kind of thing here either. Robert Hill had to rescue a friend and his Nitro today. I can only assume his Nitro has a 4.7 under the hood, which is a mistake. Good night, Rooster. Take it easy. Andrew Button said, yep, 65 was first year for column shift because of cops needing generic shifters so they could go from one brand to another. I think there was an actual like federal mandate that the push buttons went away and they'd be standardized. But was it just for police? I feel like it was just for the whole market in general. But I don't know. Oh, Tony talked a lot about his favorite bands and how much New York sucks. Yeah, I've heard a bit of that. Nice. Avon loves the early videos on the weekends. Those are my slow hours at work. Nice. Awesome. Okay, yes. YT Viewer says that was a federal mandate for 65 model year to standardize the gear shift pattern. Yeah. Oh, IB Thunder Z-bar broke. Yeah, that's possible too. Yes, that does happen. Boomtown Rats for the outro. I don't know that. Oh, Robert Hill said, oh, got a card. Well, I hadn't reached the comment yet, but okay. I found a 73 Dart 4-door, 225 904, 60K. Brown and tan, of course. Nice. The limousine just got a big step closer to a 5.9 on spray. Nice. Joel Shooter said, oh, dang it. I also wanted to say RB big block, 6-speed with rear fender, suicide doors, 4-inch headers with side pipes. Just thinking. Well, I like where your head's at, but again, it's not really, it's not my style. It's not the kind of build you'd see here, but sounds pretty cool. I do need to learn to TIG weld. I have done TIG welding once. I practiced TIG aluminum and I got a sunburn. That was an important lesson. I'll learn someday. I need a TIG welder, but it's not in the budget, so I don't have one. Robert Hill also said, try Andy Burbaum in Massachusetts for any vintage Mopar parts. I don't know him. Interesting. I've got resources closer that do pretty well. And I've shared that information with lots of people. If I share it with too many people, then she might start having a hard time supplying parts for me. So anyway, Tony B says, I saw a video on YouTube. Somebody turbocharged the Slant 6 and it was pretty pathetic. Not really worth doing. It's not like a 2JZ. Yeah, it's pathetic. It's a Slant 6. That doesn't mean it's not worth doing. And I've heard of people having decent results. But, I mean, if you double the output of a Slant 6, you just made 250 horsepower. So it's not impressive by modern standards. It never will be. It's worth doing. It's worth doing. It's more for the experiment and for the learning. There you go. Busy N says, I will call Tom this week. FYI, it's a basket case. A runner. Ship it home to me for me to restore. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Well, sounds like an uphill battle. But, you know, a lot of them are. Doesn't sound cheap. I'll just say that right now. But I'm sure you know that. I mean, you're kind of trying to build a supercar. So, you know, supercar money. Old Stuff Rule says, got to admit, I felt so bad for you with those block plugs on the Studebaker video. It was a great one, though. Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't have a good time with it at all. But it all worked out. Okay. Yeah, corrected version of that. You get it running with the Hemi Turbo kit. Send it home to me to finish. I'll call Tom this week. Okay. Well, yeah. All right. Interesting. You know, I'm into doing that, and I'd be just as happy to do the part of it that I really like and neglect the rest of it. Let you finish it. I'm happy to do that. We do have the formula down on getting the big block, the Hemi in and running. But again, just, you know, the turbo stuff is outside of my wheelhouse. So, yeah, if there's a kit and all the piping and everything, and I can just set it up, bolt it on there, I can do that. I just can't. I'm not going to fabricate everything. I can't. I'm not that guy. Old Stuff Rule says, oh, we did that. I was going to go back to this where Robert said, yeah, 20 base timing is about right. That's been my experience, 20 to 25. And it depends on the engine. Birdsong says 45 degrees base timing and 36 full throttle with the vacuum advance taken out, you know, because the vacuum drops away. Is that moonshine? No, it's water. Good stuff. Big blocks like advance. So do Hemis. And that has been about right for my small blocks. That's what I found. 36 is pretty close. Fox Can Fix It Garage is here and says, hey, guys. Hey, Fox. That was 20 minutes ago. Andrew Button, have you tried the Racer Brown GM HEI module conversion that eliminates the ignition box? I didn't know Racer Brown did that. I installed just HEI modules myself and I have a whole video about doing it. Yep. We'll talk about that later as well in the vacuum tuning video, but that adjustment does not do, it doesn't change the number of degrees. It just changes the preload on the spring. Rusty Fuel wants to know, or how to combine Magnum AC compressor 67 Dart AC system. There are kits. There are line kits. I don't know about A-body, but there was for E-body, and B-body. So there are kits to do that. It can be done. Chevy distributor on a Mopar? Donnie! Yes, my mom says the Fury is slated to be their vehicle for the road trip in April next year. Ultimate destination, Plymouth. Plymouth in a Plymouth. And beyond, with an total solar eclipse viewing along the way. Manny Cardoza said, just found your channel, love your videos. I'm reviving an 82 Dodge D150 with a slant 6, and your videos have really helped, with the electrical especially. Thanks for sharing all the info. You bet. Thanks for watching, and glad I could help. That's what I'm here for. Ooh, you are good. Am I? All right. And again, I know everybody's leaving because it's about that time. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate that. Happy Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you before then. Dave says, I still haven't done the wiper seals on the Charger due to the pain in the ass. And it is a pain in the ass. But I don't want to get grease on my keyboard. Just by the fact, yeah, good point. It's funny. I don't want to get grease on the factory service manual. I feel like that's the cool old ones are pre-greased for you, so all good. You bet, Bill. Thanks for hanging out. Really appreciate that. Yeah. Robert's cutting the deal on the 73 Dart this week. Nice. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Avon. Thank you very much. Busy End. Put me out of my misery and sell me your 66 Charger. I sold my 66 Charger to this guy, and there it is in his picture. If you meant my 68 Charger, well, that's going to cost you a lot of money because it's not for sale. But yeah, my 66 is kind of long gone. Am I really going to close every show with Rumble? I know I told you guys this, but the last show I played with one of my actual bands that I front. Yeah, I'm done now. We're going to go get dinner and gas for my wife's car. We played a show where we started and ended with Rumble, which is just ridiculous. It's not as impressive on the acoustic. It's just very not Link Ray at all. All right. I don't have time to play Zappa. All right. Gotta go. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Happy Thanksgiving. We're not high enough for any of this. Take it easy. I'm not going to throw my glass. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I guess we'll save the ketchup chips for the Thermoquad live stream. See you later. Have a good week. Bye-bye.